Oshio, Josh here. I've been thinking a lot again about just the Bible. What is it and how do you read it? And when you think about the Bible, it's good to remember that us today, we're not the first people to ponder the scriptures or to look at the oddities and the craziness and the wonderful, life-giving words that we call the Bible. We're rather heirs to a long tradition of people, of different groups and different cultures and different people and women and men and children. All kinds of people have read the scriptures, have pondered the scriptures, have interpreted the scriptures, have used the scriptures, lived by the scriptures. We in America are just a fragment, a piece, a glimmer of that history. So when we read the scriptures and we find things in there that are odd or strange, I think we need to look backwards and say, what did some of the early church fathers and mothers say? What is what's been said about these scriptures from other cultures and other people groups? There's this myth, I think, that we can somehow read it ourselves alone in isolation and then somehow figure out what it is. And which is not to mean that God can't use people every once in a while and by themselves or just them in the Bible, but I think more often than not, it's about community. It's about understanding and being a part of that. And that comes out in so many ways. One of the big things that really kind of struck me as I was thinking about the scriptures, I was reading St. Augustine of Hippo. This is about 4th, 5th century, and he wrote this book called Confessions, which is kind of his testimony, how he came to know Christ. And in there, he talks about how he was concerned about the scriptures, because the scriptures talk about there being a literal 7 days, or literal genocide in Judges and Joshua. And he was like, this is not healthy. This is not who I want to be. This is crazy. So he refused to become a follower of Jesus. And then St. Ambrose, the bishop at Milan, and they're in Italy, took him aside and said, you know what, you can actually read the scriptures more metaphorically or allegorically, that this didn't have to literally happen, but instead you can actually understand the scriptures in a different way. And that helped Augustine be able to accept the faith. He then go on to write, hundreds of literatures and tracts and books and change the course of Western theology. Eastern's a little bit different, but it's just to show you that here was the people of God wrestling through how to read the scriptures. In a lot of the same ways we do today, where we wrestle through, is it literal, is it allegorical, or is it some other ways? There's different genres and different places. I think a lot of times we kind of come down to people say, well, it has to be one way and that's it. Where in the early church, they actually allowed for different people and different groups to actually wrestle with scriptures in a different way. They still consider themselves followers of Jesus, even if they wrestled differently with the scriptures. And I think that is the important part, is allowing for the mystery of God and allowing for diversity within the union of God, realizing that we can wrestle with this and there isn't just one way to understand the scriptures. In fact, it's a living document in the sense that the Spirit breathes through it. You can read the same patches over and over and over again for years and walk away with something different each time. It is a breathing, living, two-edged sword, per se, I think, going back to Paul. So, I guess in thinking about this and wrapping it up, is that we can learn a lot by looking behind us at the women and men who've gone before us in the different cultures and different groups and what they thought of the scriptures. And then that will help us as we read the scriptures and move forward. Till next time.